2026. And this is what the letter says. It says, I write to advise that arrangements have been finalized to ensure the seamless continuation of the inter-island cargo and passenger ferry service following the expiry of the lease of the MV Cabo Star. Then it says here, this is the most interesting paragraph to me. The MV Blue Wave Harmony represents a significant enhancement in both cargo handling capability and passenger accommodation.
You respect that. You respect that.
The vessel offers increased cargo capacity, expanded, listen to this, so we have increased cargo capacity, meaning it could carry more load, expanded refrigerated cargo capacity, it could carry more cold things, larger cold storage, heavier duty loading ramps suitable for specialized and heavy cargo, and improved operational reliability through increased engine redundancy. Additionally, the vessel provides upgraded passenger comfort, including cabins. In other words, again, more cabins than the 5 you had. And I'm advised it will be somewhere in the vicinity of 100 cabins, moving up from 5. Improve the seating and dining facilities. So this is no little smoky rundown dry boat. And modern onboard amenities reflecting feedback received from ferry users, particularly Tobagonians. In other words, they say they came, they listened to the Tobago stakeholders, and they went and looked for a vessel to meet what the Tobago stakeholders want. That to me is respect, and that to me is how we work on behalf of the people of Tobago. If the other party was there, they would not ask me a single question. They would have go and just pick a boat and say, hey, take it. Instead, they came, they spoke to us, and they went and looked for a boat. The name of the boat is MV Blue Wave Harmony. In other words, all the boat blue. All the boat is signaling that a blue wave is coming here. Effective the date the Cabo Star will be going, which is January the 12th, 2026. Brothers and sisters, if that is not prophetic, I don't know what is.
On January 12th, 2026, vote the Tobago People's Party.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
Chief Secretary warns licensing officers. Finance Secretary responds to Tobago Contractors organization claims. The political analyst encourages election candidates to keep it clean. We apologize for the late start. Good evening, Tobago. I am Zoba Samuel. Thank you for tuning in to the Channel 5 News for Friday, January 9th, 2026. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine tells licensing officers to stick to their role or face consequences.
And anytime licensing department wants to continue to use their office in a punitive way, as opposed to using it in a way to manage traffic and manage how people use our roadways and vehicles, we will use our office and use our property and stand up on behalf of the people of Tobago. And I don't care how they feel about that. You can't punish my people and then I pay the rent for you. If you want to punish my people, find your own building. If you can't answer under the 5th schedule to the THA, find your own building.
The Chief Secretary spoke about the increase in the traffic fines.
I want to say to Tobagonians everywhere, You remember those days. You remember those days. It's not no traffic fines going up. And we are generally a law-abiding society. But you remember, the truth is we don't have enough public transport on the island. PTSC is limited and the bus is always breaking down. All the maxis carrying school children when the day come. How the rest of commuters going home? You ain't giving out sufficient bans in Tobago. So the men them have to keep a white bus because they can't get no band for the bus to drive the bus legitimately. People want to do their work legitimately, and they're not providing the avenue for them to get more blue bands to drive legitimately. And at the same time, they turn around and punish them.
With the recent increase in licensing fees, officers have been running exercises in Trinidad, at times leading to exorbitant fine total. In 2024, licensing officers conducted a mass exercise in Tobago, which put the island in chaos. The strategy was not embraced by all, including the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. On the hustings, Farley Augustine, TPP candidate, took former government Senator Lawrence Hislop to task on his views on increased traffic fines and the incident when his wife was stopped by licensing officers.
I want to say to you tonight, don't be deceived. You did not stand up for us in the past because your government was in charge. We don't need you to stand up on our behalf now. You were quiet when Imbert was raising traffic fines. Be quiet now. You supported a transport commissioner when he stood on TV, sat down next to Rowan Sinanan and lied about the incident with my wife. Keep supporting him now and keep your mouth quiet.
Augustine did not stop at his criticisms of Hislop and drove right into his career in politics.
We don't need you to talk on behalf of Tobagonians. You can't defend us. You are a jellyfish. You are incompetent as a senator, and there is no place in the Tobago politics for you. Don't talk on our behalf, Mr. Hislop. Don't talk on our behalf. We don't want to hear you tonight.
We respect that.
And so tonight, you, Mr. Hislop, answer us when it comes to transportation issues, when it comes to licensing department. I don't want to hear you. I didn't hear you when the unbelievable happened, when the transport commissioner showed up by the house of Trevor James, showed up by the house to dig up in the cars, no thief car. We don't thief cars in this administration. We just dip in with pocket and go in with bank account and take loans and buy cars. So don't watch what we drive in. No contractor and buy with cars. We buy it ourselves. We are integrity on this platform. I didn't hear your mouth. You didn't defend Secretary James then. You didn't say it was an abuse of power then. So why are you talking now?
Hislop made comments at the People's National Movement public meeting on January 7th. He suggested that Tobago East and West MPs were part and parcel of the decision to increase the fines, and that the fines are too high. Unity of the People UTP political leader and candidate for Buku Mount Pleasant District in the upcoming THA election, Nkosi Philip, is hoping that the party could hold the key to forming the next government. Phillips is the only candidate for the UTP, and even with a victory has no chance of leading the THA. A 7-7 tie between two major political parties could leave the UTP in a position of power.
Unity of the People as a dark horse. Let's just say Unity of the People win that one seat and it has a deadlock of 7-7 with PDP or PTP, TPP and PNM, and she has the one seat. What happens next? Who do they come to form the next Tobago Assembly? Or who then decides who forms the next Tobago Assembly? It could be UTP. So I hope that it happens so we can change the dynamics of what is happening going forward. And then everybody going to wake up and say, okay, yes, UTP was actually needed in the election. So that's what we're looking for. That has always been our master plan.
The UTP has made Tobago self-governance the hallmark of its campaign. The organization is spending the last 3 days of campaigning with an accompanying music truck to get the word out on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Philip says the party will continue the battle for Tobago self-governance whether the UTP wins its seat in the next House of Assembly or not. The Special Victims Department of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has nabbed 3 persons, including one from Tobago, during what they say is an intelligence-led anti-crime initiative dubbed Operation Beacon. The operation, held during Saturday the 25th of October 2025 to 9 a.m. on Friday 9th January 2026, resulted in the arrest and the charging of 3 people and the clearance of 9 reports investigated by the department. In the case of the Tobago Division, 1 man was charged for sexual penetration, sexual grooming, and sexual communication following investigations into a report. Police say the incident allegedly occurred around 1:30 a.m. on Saturday, the 25th of October 2025. It was then the accused reportedly picked up the victim, his niece, from her home at Main Road, Belgarden, taking her to his Philip Trace Pump Mill, Scarborough residence. There is where the sexual intercourse allegedly occurred. Police says further investigation also revealed that the accused allegedly communicated with the victim via social media, grooming her into committing sexual acts. Operation Beacon was spearheaded by Deputy Commissioner of Police Natasha George, Assistant Commissioner of Police Richard Smith, and Senior Superintendent Brian Ramfall. It was coordinated by Superintendent Daryl Ramdas and assisted by Woman Assistant Superintendent Avril Francis, police say. More news when we return.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Let me go to URP and CPEP. I want to speak to the URP and CPEP employees. And I want you to understand how important these programs are, and your future and your livelihood and sustaining you are important to this administration. This year, we will give an additional 65 million for URP. So I don't understand how they could say that we are going to send home URP workers when we have already started allocated money. Today, I allocated additional funding for URP and CPEP.
You respect that?
So URP, 65 million, and CPEP, 25 million. This is critical for you, for those that are undecided as to why the Tobago People's Party is the party for your future. I thank you.
I come out to dirty my finger. I'm ready to dirty my finger. Paint and oil, rub it all over. Let me get money.
Thank you, Secretary for Finance.
On January 12th, 2026, vote the Tobago People's Party.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
For 10 years, Pulse 89.5 FM has been the beat that moves Tobago. From the latest hits to the voices of the community, we bring the island's rhythm to life. Every day, every hour. Stay locked to Pulse 89.5 FM, the beat of Tobago. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and stream us worldwide on the TuneIn app.
Escape to elegance at Le Chateau Suites Tobago. Gated privacy, breathtaking villas, unforgettable memories, where Caribbean dreams become reality.
Welcome to the speed round of getting money right. Let's begin. Name some of the red flags associated with an investment scam.
Pressure tactics to invest.
Correct.
Promise of money if you bring friends.
Correct.
Request for personal information.
Correct. Bonus question. What is the penalty for operating a pyramid or Ponzi scheme?
$10 million and 10 years in prison.
Correct. Well done. The scores are even, so we go to our tiebreaker question. You receive money in your account from an investment company, and they tell you to transfer it to a third account. Does that sound right?
I think about it, and that's not right.
Congratulations, you tinker. Getting Money Right is brought to you by the TTSEC. Visit investigateTT.com to access free learning resources and check the TTSEC for a list of registered individuals and securities. The Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. You invest, we protect, everyone benefits.
The following is a paid political announcement.
And then, I'm hearing the young lady who used to be the MP, who used to be the minister in charge of self-help, talking about who petty and who this and who that. As far as I'm concerned, nobody lives there. Nobody voted there. Let she fight up to see if she take the party from Ansel. She might do better. But right now, we don't want to hear her whatsoever. We don't want to hear at all. So I hope she get a good rest, take some rest. Because we have to understand that in this election, we cannot erase the gains that we have had. And don't discount for a second the amount of mess we had to clean up. There is power in the words that we use. And when we use the term, let me fix this, I don't think we even comprehended how much fixing would be required for such a small island. I don't think we comprehended how much damage 21 years could have done. I don't think we had an appreciation for the fact that we had to move mountains just to recreate and redevelop Tobago and put Tobago along a righteous path. And now that we are on it, now is not time to change course. Now is not time to jump off the ship and commit political suicide. Now is the time to buckle down and let's put in some more work and continue to transform this place.
On January 12th, 2026, vote the Tobago People's Party.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
Welcome back. Finance Secretary Petal Ann Roberts has sought to dispel statements by contractors suggesting that the Tobago House of Assembly has not been fair in paying contractors who did work under previous administrations and the TPP's administration.
Because this work stemmed from 2021, and beyond and before, we said we have to still do some due diligence and check the works. So there are some that waiting and said before Christmas they never got. The reason why they ain't get is because we're still doing our checks. We're still doing our verification. And public officers are not going on any instruction by myself or the political leader to just pay monies out of the Tobago House of Assembly. So I'm saying this to say tonight that we have been fair, we have been prudent, and we have been managing these resources so that everybody could get, no matter when you did the project.
The Secretary listed the contractors who would have been paid for work done in 2023, 2024, and 2025.
Fiscal 2023, we made payments of over $42 million to 3 contractors: Parks International Limited, Kai Engineering and Construction Limited, and Warner's Construction Sanitation Limited for outstanding works I'm reading a press release that was made public, dated November 7th, 2025. Under the road resurfacing program executed prior to December 2021. Fiscal 2024, 8 contractors received a combined total of $22.96 million for projects completed under the Emergency Rehabilitation and Infrastructure Program. And these contractors include Parks International Limited, Warner's Construction, Dane Phillip Plumbing, RJS Transport, Legs Enterprise Limited, Damari Enterprises Limited, Nasvik Contractors Limited, and Thebros Construction Limited. And now, the last fiscal just gone there in 2025, the Assembly made payments amounted to $9.677 million to 3 contractors.
She told the party's supporters that the decision has been made to continue payments on a phased basis for 2026 fiscal year. Speaking on the PNM Buku platform, responding swiftly to the Tobago People's Party Politu Alliance for Space side, incumbent and candidate Farley Augustine's TPP political leader on July 7th asked what Sherlan Timothy, aka Big Dog, the PNM Bethel New Grange candidate, knew about governance in Tobago. The comment did not sit well with many people, especially the PNM. The PNM's youth speaker Daniel Wilson sounded the first backblast at the Buku meeting.
I saw a video circulating on social media with Farley questioning my next area representative, Mr. Sterling Big Dog Timothy. If you're from Bethel New Grange, make some noise. In the video, he talking about what Sterling know and what Sterling and know, and all I have to say is shame on you, Mr. Chief Secretary. Because when you try to belittle instead of build, when you try to mock instead of mentor, when you try to discourage instead of develop, you betray the very values that education is supposed to stand for. And as a former teacher, you should know better than that. I'm calling him out tonight, brothers and sisters.
Timothy, who spoke after Wilson on the platform, also waded into TPP leader Augustine and the Chief Secretary.
May not know every administrative rule right now, but I know this. When you present yourself for public office, it should never be about securing a title. It is not about being called secretary or assistant secretary. It is about being a voice, the defender and advocate of the people you represent.
Timothy said he, like many other Tobagonians, are qualified to lead and help develop Tobago. According to Minister of Culture and Community Development, Michelle Benjamin, the government is continuing to support unsponsored steel bands for Carnival 2026, with an allocation of $2.3 million. The financial assistance provides $10,000 per single pan and $20,000 per each conventional steel band to help with chroming, repairing, purchasing and transportation of pans. This would ensure that the national instrument would continue to be showcased on the greatest stage on the cultural calendar, Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival. This allocation supports 147 bands.
This government remains firmly committed to preserving and promoting the steel pan as a cornerstone of our cultural identity. Our national heritage, these unsponsored steel pans, they perform duties that sometimes goes unsupported and unannounced. Hence, the government took this decision to continue grant support to this organization.
Minister Benjamin added that the allocation is only one of the avenues available for steel bands, and there are other grant facilities available from the ministry. The state-owned National Gas Company, NGC, recently pulled sponsorship from steel bands in September 2025, including steel explosions in Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago Met Office has declared January 8th as the official start of the 2026 dry season. January to March is forecasted to be wetter and warmer than usual, but April, May, and June are expected to be near normal. Potential for bush, forest, and landfill fires will be reduced, but remains possible. The Met Office says that they expect a reduction in groundwater recharge, surface water runoffs, and an increased probability for Saharan dust and an accompanying reduction in the air quality. The dry season is generally characterized by reduced moisture, increased atmospheric stability, fewer deep clouds, less frequent rainfall events, warm days and cool nights, strong trade winds, and a shift of direction from mostly easterlies to northeasterly winds, all of which Trinidad and Tobago is experiencing. In light of the declaration to the public being advised to conserve, store, and manage water in a sustainable manner, and recommend that the public comply with the Agricultural Fires Act or refrain from burning refuge in grassy or forested areas during the dry season. Engage with the relevant agencies and ministries and take measures to mitigate the potential impact of the dry season. Stay with us. More news when we return.
The following is a paid political announcement.
And what is interesting is that they're trying to say we're going against black businesses. But let me be clear to you, PNM is the most anti-black party in the country. Don't be fooled. Let me be plain to you. Just walk around fooling poor black people, telling them this is a black party, and when they get in office, is only the 1% that's benefit. Only people that don't look like me and you. And that is why in the past, we call the former Prime Minister a roast breadfruit. He black outside and the inside still white. And not even no good butter breadfruit. He not even yellow, inside white. So don't tell me about selling out black businesses. The people who sell out black business is the PNM. Where was that energy when they wanted to take the land to give to Sanders? They wanted to take it to give it to Sanders. And it was their member of parliament at the time who sat and signed that MOU with Sanders. Did they sit with the vendors in no man's land to ask them if to sign that MOU? I am sure there is not one single MOU, not one single letter or instruction from this Chief Secretary, Farley Augustine, asking to remove anybody from there. And I'm saying to you, do not be fooled in this election. They come just like the serpent on the tree, telling you it's good for food, and after you eat it, you have to suffer the punishment of sin. Do not eat their food come the 12th of January 2026, because you will spend the next 4 years suffering, punishing in sin. Don't do it. Don't do it at all.
On January 12th, 2026, vote the Tobago People's Party.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
To vote is simple. The Elections and Boundaries Commission advises that before Election Day, you should receive your poll card in the mail. Open it to find the address of your polling station. Keep the poll card safe and take it with you on Election Day. If you did not receive your poll card in the mail, you can still vote. A poll card will be prepared for you at your polling station. You can also visit the EBC's website at www.ebctt.com or call the hotline at 785-8206 or 785-8211 to find your polling station. On Election Day, you should check the list posted outside your polling station for your name and number. Where there are several polling stations on the same compound, an information officer will direct you to your polling station. Polling agents who act on behalf of candidates are there to witness the process. If your name is on the list of electors and you have a valid ID card, you join the green line. All other persons, including physically incapacitated, blind or visually impaired persons, should join the red line. You are required to sign your poll card in front of the poll clerk. The deputy presiding officer examines your hands and fingers. If there is no evidence of electoral ink stains, you're issued a ballot paper. The deputy presiding officer also demonstrates how to mark and fold a ballot paper using the guidance ballot and how to vote with the X stamp. The ballot paper is folded to display the initials of the deputy presiding officer and the polling station number. A blind, visually impaired or physically incapacitated person is allowed to vote with the assistance of a companion. In the privacy of the voting booth, you vote by placing an X at the right of your candidate's symbol. If you make a mark other than an X, your ballot will be rejected and not counted. Fold your ballot paper as you were previously shown by the deputy presiding officer and proceed to the officer in charge of the ballot box. Display your folded ballot paper with the initials of the deputy presiding officer and polling station number. You will then be required to dip your finger in the electoral ink before you are allowed to place your ballot paper in the ballot box. If you refuse to dip your finger in the electoral ink, you will not be allowed to vote. When you've finished with this process, wipe off the excess ink. Any problem you encounter in the polling station should be brought to the attention of the presiding officer. To vote is your right. Exercise it. A message from the Elections and Boundaries Commission, your partners in democracy.
Welcome back. With the January 12th THA election days away, political analyst Dr. Shane Mohammed is encouraging Tobagonians on keep the platform rhetoric clean. Speaking on today's morning talk show on Tobago Channel 5, Rise and Shine, Mohammed said the level of rhetoric being spewed on the platform shows that the campaign is heating up more than the previous elections.
it has become heated. And I think this is one of the first times in a very long time it's gotten to this level of heat. I mean, they've said, I don't think they could go anymore in terms of what they can and wouldn't say to each other anymore. I would like to think that this is political banter and just...
And it's healthy.
It's good, right? But remember at the end of the day, everybody's Tobagonian. Everybody's connected. Everybody's linked, family, friend, school, whatever the linkage may be.
Mohammed also reminded that Tobago's landmass is small, so people tend to interact more and thus face the consequences of their rhetoric, sometimes immediately.
Everybody has to, at some point in time, put down the political arms and just work to the greater good of Tobago. So whatever the result looks like on Monday night, the day after that, there has to be some people making realizations that their political career might be done. People realizing that their political career may take a different, may have blossomed. Parties realizing that they may have to go back to the drawing board and really consider what they didn't do right.
Political parties and the representatives have operated over the course of the campaign and before Chief Secretary Farley Augustine announced the election date on December 2nd last year. Meanwhile, in analyzing the political parties' performance during the THA elections campaign, Mohammed said Tobagonians must decide whether they want to elect a party that appears to be adversarial to the UNC-led government.
Is Tobago prepared to go back into a system where the THA is run by an opposition party that is combative or adversarial to the central government? And is that not regressive because the world is moving and Tobago can't be stagnant? And Tobago has to go in that direction as well, right?
The analyst said the TPP had to work within the budget from central government.
The Blue has to understand, and they have to be honest with themselves. How did they perform in the last 4 years? I would be one of the first people to say they did well, using Mr. Pandey and Mr. Manning's words, which was they did a lot with little. I still talk about the Kilgreen Road. I mean, that's what I used just now. A massive piece of construction, very necessary. It makes moving from Crown Point to Scarborough 9 minutes, right? So that's a big thing.
Almost at the end of the Rise and Shine and during the live call-in segment, a caller who said he is not a PNM supporter said Dr. Mohammed has veered too far towards the political entity.
With all respect, and I'm not a disrespectful person.
Please.
I'm not a disrespectful person. Hear me. No disrespect for you. You are studying. You have your PhD in political science and all of that. But I wanted to go back and listen to this man all the time. He's very biased to watch. And I'm not a PNM. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a PNM. But we need somebody to kind of guide us to how the whole thing really going. And you listen to some of his comments. He is a hater of the PNM.
Dr. Mohammed has been a guest on many national media platforms discussing politics and its impact on Trinidad and Tobago. The Ministry of Education said it is actively examining the provision of Employee Assistance Program, EAP, service to ensure effective, efficient, and sustainable psychosocial support for teachers. The ministry's statement comes days after the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, TUTA, indicated to its members that free counseling under the EAP for teachers had stopped, forcing teachers to pay their own way in the program. In a January 9th statement, the ministry said the EAP funds was allocated from the fiscal 2026 budget. The ministry also said at this time, no user fees have been introduced for EAP Counseling services and employees are not required to pay any fee, including $450 per counseling session, to access ministry provided support. It noted too that if any of the teachers want to access counseling services independently outside of the ministry approved mechanisms that fall outside the scope of the EAP, those services should not be considered a replacement for employer supported services. The ministry said it recognizes that mental health and psychosocial support are critical to employees' well-being and noted that the EAP program supports workforce resilience and the effective delivery of education services nationwide. The ministry said it remains fully committed to giving appropriate support to teachers and is putting mechanisms in place for all employees to have access to the ministry's supported EAP. The Ministry of Defense is urging the media to be responsible. Days after an online social media platform published a portion of an aviation advisory just after the U.S. captured former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. In a statement, Defense Minister Wayne Sturgis said he views the partial excerpt of Not AM or Not AM Notice of Air Missions Bulletin with grave concern. Sturgis said the excerpt was designed to sensationalize and create chaos and hysteria. He clarified that Trinidad and Tobago's airspace is fully open and operational, and that the PIACO Flight Information Region, TTZP, and all airports are accommodating regular commercial and private aviation traffic. He noted that NOTAM A0010-2/26 is a routine security advisory issued by the United States Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and applies exclusively to U.S. registered aircraft operators. He added that NOTAM advisories are a standard practice among sovereign states and not part of an assessment of Trinidad and Tobago's local airspace safety. The minister said the Trinidad and Tobago Aviation and Security Authorities monitor the PIACO Flight Information Region in accordance with International Civil Aviation Organization standards to ensure continued safety and security for all air traffic. He said Trinidad and Tobago government is committed to safeguarding the nation's national sovereignty, aviation safety, and public confidence. Now we take a look at the weather. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy with a medium chance of showery spells in some areas. Tomorrow, mainly fair and at times breezy despite the likelihood of a few spotty showers favoring the morning period. Seas moderate. Winds northeast to east-southeast 5 to 35 kilometers per hour. Waves in open waters 1.5 to 2 meters. In sheltered areas below 1 meter. High tide at 9:09 a.m. and 10:08 p.m. Low tide at 2:50 a.m. and 3:50 p.m. Sunset at 6:24 and sunrise at 6:24 and sunset at 5:55. Tomorrow's temperature should reach a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius and fall to 24 degrees Celsius. Let's recap our headlines. Chief Secretary warns licensing officers. Finance Secretary responds to Tobago Contractors Organization claims. And political analyst encourages election candidates to keep it clean. That does it for us tonight at the Channel 5 News Desk. I am Soba Samuel saying have a good night and stay safe.